Wow, Avi, it's good to be back. Welcome back to the NBA Sesh. We had quite a hiatus, but now we're back.
It's good to be back.
It is good to be
There's a
back.
lot to say.
There is a lot to say, starting with the New York Knicks. Now, what I want to say about the New York Knicks is as follows. I'm very, very proud of the team. I'm not going to lie. In the beginning of the season, beginning to the middle of the season, I was like, oh, these damn same old Knicks. What bothered me is that RJ Barrett just couldn't become that superstar, and he still isn't. Um, but it's okay. He's a really solid player. You know, people were clowning on the Knicks in the summer. People are always clowning on the Knicks. That's something we agree on. That's something we all know, right? But the people were clowning on the Knicks when they traded Porzingis to the Dallas Mavericks, okay? And now it's clear who won the Porzingis trade, right? Now, the Knicks won the Porzingis trade because out of that, we got Quentin Grimes and picks, right? Those are like the highlight pieces of that trade. Porzingis is no longer in Dallas. He's on the Wizards. Okay? Dallas right now went from number 4 to number what? They're out of the playoffs, I think. They're even out of the play-in tournament.
They're 2.5 games behind the last spot for the play-in tournament, behind the Bulls.
That is crazy. Now, I don't know if that's directly because of the Porzingis trade. Okay, so I can't say, oh, the Porzingis trade brought them to this moment. That's not really the reason because they were doing fine with Dinwiddie. Okay, Mark Cuban was in a tough position. I'm sorry I'm jumping, but we're already on the topic, so I'm going to quickly say it. Mark Cuban was put in a tough position by saying we got to get not Kyrie help, but Luka Doncic help. Luka Doncic, they're doing well, but he needs another star. So he took a team that was the 4th seed in the playoffs. He broke it up by trading Dinwiddie and who else did he trade?
Finney Smith.
Finney Smith
Was a great 3-and-D player.
Right. So you see, sometimes it's not about superstars. Dirk Nowitzki won against LeBron James and co. with him being the only star. He just had really good pieces around him, right?
He had really amazing pieces.
Really amazing pieces. And the thing is, that's what Dallas had. But he wanted to show effort. He wanted to show Luka Doncic that he's trying. He brings in Kyrie Irving. And that was a terrible mistake because now they are out of the play-in tournament. There's just something about Kyrie. Yes, he's a star. Yes, he plays well.
No, I think they're in the play-in tournament.
Now they're back in? Because at one point, they kind of were out of it.
They're hovering, but even with Dinwiddie, they were doing better, but they took a step backwards, but they weren't that team to go to the finals anyway.
That's true. So you see, in hindsight, I think Mark Cuban still did the right thing. Because if he didn't do anything, they'd be in the playoffs. They would get eliminated in the first or second round. And then Luka Doncic and his camp would have been like, oh, you're not doing anything to help me out. Mark Cuban said, look, I'm really going to show you, I'm going to make an effort. I'm going to bring in Kyrie Irving, another superstar for you to play with. I think what's going to end up happening in the summer, and I think we spoke about this, is that I think they're going to end up doing a sign and trade to put Kyrie in LA and to bring in probably D'Angelo Russell to the Dallas Mavericks. Another thing I'm hearing is that LeBron James might come to the Mavericks because A, Kyrie's there. Number 2, he can't get along with AD for whatever reason. And then number 3, he's just trying to run away from all his problems of having a really bad team who was out of the playoffs, out of the play-in tournament all season, and only recently with some very good... Honestly, I give the Lakers organization a lot of props. For them to make those moves, they actually put together a solid team, and now they're in the play-in tournament. And I actually am rooting... I don't like the Lakers right now, but I am rooting for them to be in the playoffs because I think it's going to just be good for basketball. It's going to be good for the audience,
So, LeBron saying that he wants to go to the Mavericks is just silly. Because, number one, I don't know why he would even entertain that, even if he was just messing around. Everyone already talks smack about him wanting to join all the super teams, and even though he's pretty much the GOAT of our generation, not including Kobe, it doesn't make sense for him to go and run and play with Luka. Now, I think to look at it both ways with Kyrie Irving, I think that we could say, hey, we need to give them time to figure things out because they're two dominant players. They need the ball in their hands. But at the same time, it'll also fall on Jason Kidd as the coach. Like, he barely uses Christian Wood now for whatever reason. Like, I don't watch the games, but, either defensively he's just not good or they just have too much offense. I think Mark Cuban should have went to get a big man that could do the pick and roll with him, or like a forward. Yeah, getting another, it's like an upgrade over Dinwiddie to Kyrie. It's like you had to do it, but like you said, it shows Doncic that, like, yeah, I tried to do something, but it's about they're just trying to win quick, just like the Raptors did with Kawhi Leonard. But Kawhi Leonard came to a more full, organized team. This guy, you're putting in more offense for and giving away a forward who was a good defender, which the Mavericks need. They don't play defense, both of them. That's why they have to either outscore to win, or they have
Which
to
is a lose situation. But
yeah. And in the playoffs, it's tougher because the game slows down now, and we saw now how chemistry issues and trying to share the ball will make you lose to the Charlotte Hornets without
twice
without LaMelo Ball.
Mm-hmm.
So that's embarrassing. And yeah, I do think that Kyrie Irving might end up on the Lakers, but like you said, I give them Lakers props, even though they're not really doing so well. But LeBron leaving the Lakers at this point is silly, unless he goes back to the Cavs.
And Laker fans are so delusional. I want to teach them about how to be a miserable fan of a team.
Yeah.
All right, we're miserable Knicks fans, and people clown on the Knicks all the time. But you know what? The Knicks and the Knicks fans deserve it. They really do. Until they actually win a championship, this is going to continue happening, and rightfully so. Okay, that's number one. Number two, there's nothing wrong with being a bad team sometimes. You can't always be great. The Lakers are arguably the greatest dynasty in the NBA. But right now, they're just not doing well. And I got to say, this just proves that Michael Jordan is better than LeBron James. End of story. End of conversation. He's
the Celtics might argue that they're a better dynasty.
Well, okay, fine. Celtics, Lakers, they're both up there. I can't say the same for the Knicks.
No, and I don't know why people hate on the Knicks so much. We've been a miserable Knicks fans ever since I became a fan. I don't know why people hate on them. They're never successful.
Well, look, I will say this. Like I said, I think the Knicks deserve to be clowned on until they actually win, because they've arguably had the best decision-making front office in the past few years than they've ever had in a long time. But that doesn't forgive 20, 30 years of misery, okay? So you can't just have the fans, and forget about the fans, the NBA, forgive that. So they're going to continue clowning on the Knicks. And I say this as a Knicks fan, they should continue clowning on the Knicks until the Knicks get a championship. And right now, like, for example, they were clowning on them getting Jalen Brunson. Well, what do you want them to do? If they didn't get Jalen Brunson, then people would say, oh, but you didn't get Jalen Brunson. They got Jalen Brunson, you said you overpaid. But you know what? Now people are saying he got underpaid because he was fantastic for us so far. What an excellent, excellent pickup. He made our team so much better.
And that just
Julius Randle's playing better.
Yeah, and that just proves that you can't have a guard play with Doncic unless it's like a Mike Conley. You have to have a different type of player there, or a guard who could just catch and shoot. Because look how Jalen Brunson excelled. People are clowning on Cuban for not resigning him. But he wouldn't But he wouldn't be as good anyway in the Mavericks.
Oh, that's true. Never mind. You're right.
Yeah, I think the Knicks are doing everything they can. They're definitely moving in the right direction.
Oh yeah.
We just need that one guy.
That one guy. That's pretty much it.
Breakout star. Like hopefully it's gonna be RJ Barrett next season. Like hopefully he'll become like an SGA.
I couldn't have said it better myself. It is disappointing that RJ Barrett is not a superstar. Why? If he was drafted like number 8, I'd be like, whatever. He was drafted number 3. At number 3, I want a superstar. Fine. He's still a great player. Don't get me wrong. He's playing well. And I'm grateful for that. He's playing well. But other than that, he still has time. He could break out next season. And if he never ends up breaking out, that's fine too. We have Jalen Brunson. We have Julius Randle. I like what I see in Quentin Grimes. I love what I see in Emmanuel Quickley. What? You know what? He might win most improved player.
He should.
He might even win
Man.
Sixth Man of the Year.
Yeah.
What a performance by Emmanuel Quickly. Emmanuel Quickly is becoming, or already is, that X factor for the Knicks. Bravo to Emmanuel Quickly. I love what the Knicks are going through right now. At this time, I do not believe they have what it takes to go all the way to the finals, as much as I'd love that.
No.
But I will say this. If they can at least make it to the second round and put up a fight in the second round, lose in 6 or 7 games, I'll be a little satisfied. I don't want to be pessimist. I don't want to put the ceiling so low, and most people are say, "Oh, you should you should aim higher." But I'm just being realistic here. They're not going to go all the way unless there's a lot of injuries in other teams. But if they can at least go to the second round and put up a fight, then I'll be satisfied for this season. Now, either we need next year for RJ Barrett to turn into that superstar, or we need to somehow pick up through a trade or free agency, whatever, another star. And once we get that one piece, I think we're complete. I think we have what it takes to compete on a championship level.
Yeah. Look, Barkley was clowning on us, and he was saying, yeah, they just need one piece. And he's like, yeah, Giannis, LeBron, Doncic. But you know what? He's right. But to get to that level where you just need that one piece, that gift wrap, to have the team deliver to the finals and possibly win, is already an accomplishment, because it's hard to put together a team for that one superstar.
Exactly.
Now, who knows? Maybe it'll be homegrown. Maybe we'll get someone from free agency, but we got to see how Brunson performs in the playoffs, because I think they could take on the Cavs. But Randall, he kind of choked. As much as I love Randall, he's
2 years ago, right?
Yeah, he's not a clutch player. Brunson, so far, in the regular season, he's been pretty clutch, at least keeping us in the game. But you're right. Quickly and Grimes, those two guys are just playing so well, and I could just feel like Grimes, he's got that, that strong drive. When he drives in, he could shoot. He just doesn't get the ball. He doesn't.
Right.
No one runs plays for him.
If Quentin Grimes was on a bad team and he was the only good player, he'd probably be averaging 35 points a game. And
no, come on, not 35 points.
I'm telling you, dude, I'm telling you.
35 points?
It's not about the stats right now. If you watch the games, right, Quentin Grimes doesn't have the numbers, but it's exactly because of what you just said. Because he doesn't really get the ball. You have ball dominant handlers like Brunson. You have Julius Randle, even RJ Barrett.
Ant-Man doesn't average 35 points a game.
Who's Ant-Man?
Anthony Edwards, and he's on the Timberwolves.
But there's a lot of games. Well, first of all, Quentin Grimes is a second-year player? Anthony Edwards, I think, is a third? No. Is he a second-year player?
Second year, yeah.
Second year. Okay. Look, Anthony Edwards is only a second-year player. Fine.
Maybe he's a third year.
Fine. Forget about the 35 a game. He'd be at least averaging 25 a game.
Let me look it up.
He'd be Quentin Grimes would be averaging at least 25 a game. When you watch the way he plays, it's incredible. He's not afraid. He just goes in there. He plays he has those superstar tendencies.
He does. I mean, come on, man, not superstar. Not yet.
Tendencies, I said. Tendencies.
All right, well, let's see Edwards. Let's see.
What's the difference when Anthony Edwards came into the league? He's still
I
young.
I got to know. He's 21.
Yeah, he's probably a second-year player, third
Dude,
year.
Anthony Edwards is going to be a superstar. He's already a superstar.
Is he a second or a third year?
Man. Dude, it doesn't even say, yo. What the heck?
Let me look this up.
No, hold on. Bio. 2020.
Oh, he was drafted in 2020?
Yeah.
21, 22.
So he's third year.
No, second year.
2020. He played the 2020 season.
The season started in 22. And that was 23. So he's a second-year player. Whatever, second, third year, it doesn't matter. He's young.
RJ Barrett's also only 22, right?
He's only 22, but he's a fourth-year player. He's very good, but he's not that star, and that's fine.
He's playing more consistently.
Look, I'm very pleased with the Knicks, and I've said this before, and I'm going to say it again. That was my only wish for the Knicks. Don't name chase. Don't blow up teams like you did for Carmelo Anthony. And by the way, Carmelo Anthony wasn't even worth it.
No offense.
No offense.
One of my
If you
favorite
did that for
players.
LeBron James at the time, great. Not Carmelo Anthony. But, even doing that for LeBron James could be a problem because then you're going to have that one star and then you have nothing else, nobody else. So I love what the Knicks are doing. I'm so happy they're not name chasing. I'm so happy they're building homegrown talent and building through the draft and free agency, whatever. And if we make a trade now for a piece, Josh Hart, what an amazing addition to the team. Thanks to Josh Hart, I think everything turned around once we got Josh Hart on the roster.
I think that proves that this Knicks front office is actually competent to make decisions to lead us to the right place.
Competent, yeah.
Because that was an amazing pickup.
Absolutely.
No one could have thought that.
Absolutely. And you see, Josh Hart's not a superstar, okay? But you see, that just proves the point. How sometimes it's that one player that you need, right? Everybody's wondering, how does the Golden State Warriors go from winning a championship to struggling this season, right? That's because they lost like 3 key players off the bench. Remember when Boston won the championship in 2008? Was it James Posey? He was on the bench. Once he left in free agency, they were struggling. They weren't exactly that same team. They didn't win again. Yeah, they went to the finals 2 years later, but they didn't win again. Sometimes it's that one guy that helps out. And the Warriors lost 3 guys like that. So us getting Josh Hart, you're thinking, oh, can that one guy make a difference? He's not a star? Yeah, it can. Big time.
Also, when Tibbs decided to cut the rotation to like 8 players.
No, I think it was 9 players.
9 players?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's when they went on an 8-game winning streak.
Mm-hmm. No, I think it was 9-game.
9-game winning streak. And so I look for a while I was like, yeah, maybe Tibbs is not the right guy. But after these couple winning streaks, I believe in Tibbs. And yeah, as much as I want Toppins to succeed and play well, I just don't think he's that good that everyone thinks, and people love to hate.
Room. There's also no room for Toppin. When's he gonna play?
People's criticisms are that he yanks him out of the lineup real quick if he makes a mistake, and Toppin needs to play more minutes, and I don't think he's gonna be on the team for long.
Listen, I don't believe in Toppin's not getting a fair chance. Emmanuel Quickley was drafted the same year at number 25.
That's what I'm saying.
And he's in the full-time rotation right now. So it's about proving yourself and showing that you're important enough to make a difference.
Randall is a lot better than people give him credit for. He does a lot. He might not be clutch. Maybe he's a third option on
a star team. Yeah.
And that's fine. That's still a big job.
You know what? If you get the right guy, he could be the second guy to that guy. If you get the right guy.
Well, now we have Brunson. That takes up
Well, I wouldn't say it's Brunson, though. I'm talking about just in this example, like Kevin Durant or LeBron James, I'm just saying. It's possible that Julius Randle could be the second guy. Could be. Most likely the third.
Look, I bet if once Toppin gets traded, and I think he will, to one of those other crappier teams, he's probably going to put up more numbers, and that's fine. But I don't think he's just a great... I think we'll be better off with a better role player, or maybe another pick, because... at this point, he's more of a spot up 3-point shooter, and he could do more. But Barrett should be feeling lucky right now, because I feel like the attention is not on him as it normally would be in New York on a new player that everyone wants to see do well.
There you go. It's a blessing in disguise. But I just want to say that earlier, months ago, I thought the Grizzlies 100% are going to go to the finals, but now I'm not so sure. I think Ja Morant's actions off the court is an issue, and I think they are just really young. So when it comes to maybe the playoffs, maybe they won't have what it takes to go all the way. So in the West, it's hard to say because I feel like I want to say Denver, but I don't know. I just feel like maybe they're missing something. I also want to say Phoenix now after the Kevin Durant trade, right? But it also feels like they might be missing pieces off the bench. Plus, we have injury. Chris Paul and Kevin Durant now are both injury prone. So I think, though, It's hard to say, but I think Denver has a real shot going to the finals. What do you think in the West?
I mean, Denver has to take advantage of where they are right now and actually go as far as they can because number one, if they don't, it's a bad look on the Joker because he's hasn't gone past the first round, I believe, right? It's a bad look on the coach. But I think they will because this time they actually have Jamal Murray and after his injury, he's coming back. You know, he hasn't played in like 2 seasons or something like that, but he's playing well again. Michael Porter Jr. They have other role players. I think they'll definitely go far. I don't know about the finals. I would probably bet on the Nuggets to go in the finals, but I'm not gonna sleep on the Warriors because they're missing Wiggins. Klay Thompson's just not the player he once was. You know,
I'm sleeping on the Warriors. I am.
Uh,
I feel like the Warriors lost a few good pieces
They
in
still have Steph
in
Curry.
in the summer. Like you said, Clay is not that same player. Draymond Green's not that same player. And Wiggins coming back is not going to do anything. They've been a great team at home, but you have to win on the road if you want to win it all, right? And they're not even a top seed.
Yeah, but they're such a seasoned veteran team that it's just like the playoffs for them. I think will be a different animal.
I'm sorry, I just don't see it happening.
I don't know about the finals, but I'm saying they probably will. They'll probably compete. They'll probably go far.
By the way, one of my favorite pickups for the Nuggets, I think last year, was that guy from Orlando, Aaron Gordon. I think that was one of my favorite pickups for that team. But yeah, I think the Warriors are done. I think the three teams that have a chance to go to the finals in the West, I think, are the Nuggets, the Grizzlies, and the Suns. And I think
Suns.
I don't know, man. I mean, I think you're right. If healthy, I think it could be the Suns. But then again, Denver's going to put up that fight, you know? And
the Suns are a scary team with Durant.
it's hard to say in the West, but I think it's those three teams. I think, like, who else could it be? It can't be Dallas. It can't be the Lakers. It can't be the Clippers. I don't think it could be the Clippers.
The Clippers, don't sleep on them. If they're healthy, they could do well. If they're healthy,
look,
that's a big if.
I'm a Russell Westbrook fan. I want to see them succeed mainly for that reason. And I think Kawhi Leonard, Paul George, they're just great players. I want to, rub it into the Lakers' face. But I don't know, man. And there's just something about Russell Westbrook being on teams that they're not winning games. I don't know what it is. But even if he didn't come or whether he's there, I just don't see them going all the way. I don't know, man. There's just something about that team. But in the West, I think it's those three teams, the Grizzlies, the Nuggets, and the Suns. I just don't see anybody else.
I think the Suns have a big chance because KD is such a crazy shooter. Like, this guy's a walking bucket, even more than Booker. And then you have Chris Paul, who's obviously past his prime, but defense, just high IQ. Aiden could put up points, and he's a good defender. Yeah, they're missing some role players. Like I said, if they actually score a lot consistently and play a little D, that's what will get them over the top, I think. But if they don't play defense, they're going to just be like, the Mavericks. But they also have Aiden. Mavericks done. I think Mavericks are done, man. They're not going anywhere.
Nope, definitely not. And then in the East, I'm trying to think in the East. I think it'll be, earlier I thought it could be the Celtics, but I think it's going to be the Bucks. And I think the East is a little more clearer because look, you have the Celtics, but there's something off about the Celtics. They haven't actually been consistent. They've been losing some games. And then you have Philly also just not consistent. I just don't believe in James Harden like I once did. And then the Cleveland Cavaliers, impressive. What are they, number 4 now? If they're the fourth best team in the East, that's not saying much about the East. I don't think they're a very young team minus Donovan Mitchell. But I don't think Donovan Mitchell is the kind of guy, especially with his track record in Utah.
Yeah, he usually gets hurt like in the second round.
And I think because we're the Knicks, I'm not surprised if they do lose to Cleveland, but the Knicks should easily beat Cleveland. And the reason why I'm not so sure is because I felt the same thing last time, 2 years ago. They were the 4th seed, Atlanta was the 5th seed, and they still lost to Atlanta 4-1. 4-1. It wasn't even a 7-game series. So if they can't beat the Hawks, I mean, we're a different team now.
Yeah,
But
exactly.
who knows if they could beat the
I
Cleveland
mean,
Cavaliers?
it's so obvious why the Knicks lost to the Hawks. Randall kept going left or right, was it, and they just kept shutting him down, and that's it. But the difference with the Cavs, though, they have Spider Mitchell, but he's actually a consistent scorer, which the Knicks, as of now, besides for Brunson, didn't have. But Brunson, we're gonna have to see in the playoffs. If Brunson really, he played hard in Dallas in the playoffs, but also that was a contract year.
You know,
I believe in Brunson. I believe in Randall.
you know what I'd
the
like to
rest of the
see?
team.
Realistically, I don't think the Knicks are going to go to the playoff finals, but I do want to see a Milwaukee versus Denver series in the finals, and I think
That's
those
gonna be
teams are
sick.
kind of evenly matched. And I think it'll be a hell of a series to watch. I think it'll be so fun to watch, and it'll be quite a battle. I see it going to 7 games, and it'll definitely be a heartbreak for whoever loses because I feel like both teams deserve to win the championship. But we'll see what happens.
Giannis guarding the Joker, but the Joker can't guard Giannis. Yeah. You see Bucks, yes, something's with the Celtics. I feel like I'm not convinced. Like they have great pieces, but it's always a hit or miss for them. But yeah, Giannis versus the Joker in the finals, I could see that.
The Lakers are done, bro.
Lakers are done.
I
Sorry to
wanna-
say, man.
I want to see them in the playoffs, but they're done.
Sorry, Laker fans, but they're done. Time to go home.
Yeah, and that's it. Like right there, I don't want to get into it, but I think this whole new generation is just delusional. I think because they grew up with LeBron James. Look, we grew up watching Kobe Bryant, and I want to say that Kobe Bryant is probably my favorite player of all time. I like Michael Jordan, but I'm not going to deny that Michael Jordan's better than Kobe Bryant. And whatever. I'm tired of these LeBron Jordan debates, but yeah, as far as athleticism, as far as like the actual skill,
Yeah,
whatever.
but you can't. Jordan's like 37, 38. You can't.
You mean LeBron?
Yeah, LeBron. I mean, and he's still playing better than
No,
most
no.
other players.
But you
It's
see,
just
that's
scary.
what people don't understand. You can't just look at, he won he's the top scorer now, or at this level he's playing on such a high level at this age. Yeah, that's all good, but we're talking about overall greatness to lead your. Let me ask you this way. Let's say there was 2 countries at war, and you have a general, and the general is a great general, but he can't lead his troops to victory. What good is he? If he can't lead his troops to victory, then nobody's going to care.
I'll tell you why.
You have to be able to lead your troops to victory.
I'll tell you what.
And Jordan was a great general.
I'll tell you why. I'll tell you what makes Jordan better than LeBron. Ready?
Mm-hmm.
Jordan is a lockdown defender, and LeBron isn't. Yeah, LeBron has those nice chase down blocks, and it's cool and highlights and all that, but Jordan was able to lock down defenders on top of having Pippen, probably the best defender at the league at that time, which helps, obviously, and having Rodman for a few seasons. But Jordan himself was a top defender, and
Yeah.
LeBron isn't. And that's it's just simple as that. And Jordan's a better scorer. Yeah, LeBron is a better passer, and he gets teammates involved better or more than Jordan. But him scoring better and being a lockdown defender is what I think makes Jordan better, in my opinion. I don't know.
And
What do I know?
people get the sense like if you say that, then you're a hater of LeBron James. I'm not a hater of LeBron James. I like LeBron James. I think he's a great player. He's one of the legends. He's one of the top guys. But I'm just saying, and the reason we're always comparing is because he's the top guy of our generation right now in the league now. And Jordan was at his time. So, of course, we're going to naturally compare the two. I'm not trying to take away from LeBron. I think LeBron is fantastic. I think he's a legend. I think he's a Hall of Famer. He's done great, wonderful things. But if you're going to compare and say who's the greatest of all time, you have to go with Michael Jordan. And I think if we're going to have a greatest of all time conversation, it shouldn't even be necessarily just LeBron and Michael. It could be Michael, LeBron, Kareem, Magic. You could talk about all those guys. And as great as all those guys were, Michael Jordan was Michael Jordan. I mean, people are not just going to talk out of their ass. There's a reason why they say this. And that's it. I'm done. I'm done saying this. And people get so upset. It's crazy.
Well, I think there's a. Well, Kareem played with Magic, right?
Kareem, actually, I'm not even so sure if they played together. It's possible.
But Kareem's also,
Yeah, I think they might have played together,
he
actually.
is also one of the best. He is, but I think Jordan is a little better.
No. I'm saying it's not fair just to have the conversation LeBron versus Jordan.
Yeah.
You have to include Kareem and Magic and other guys,
But I wonder what it was. I don't know, maybe this is better to talk about next time.
As far as what?
Well, I was just gonna say like why Kyrie and Durant played well together, and
They did play well together?
I mean they have a decent record.
Yeah.
They left the Nets with a decent record.
I mean, yeah, yes and no. They got swept last year by Boston, so
That's true. That is true. I forgot about that. That was a major red flag, and they still took the bait.
I didn't think they're going to get swept. I thought they're going to lose, but I didn't think they're going to get swept. We have a cousin. He's like, "Oh, Brooklyn's going to you'll see. They're going to beat them in 6 games." They got swept. It was
I think
embarrassing.
Brooklyn was favored to win.
And they were favored to win, yeah.
What a disaster, man.
But I'm glad these super teams are failing because it's not fun to have super teams, man. It really sucks. Like what LeBron James did to go to Miami to play with Dwayne Wade and Chris Bosh, that was just so distasteful. I hate super teams. That's why Dirk Nowitzki beating them was like one of the greatest things to happen,
But look, everyone's crediting also Shane Battier and Mike Miller for helping them win because you still need those guys, those X factors that could make those timely shots, get that steal, the rebound, like during crunch time, where the rest of the guys are carrying the full team, but you still need those guys to win. And when you have those big ass trades that you do, sending superstars to play with others, those guys usually get traded also, and then the superstars are left with nobody, and then they lose, and that's what they don't get. That's what happened with Carmelo and everything. But Carmelo didn't care; he just wanted to play in New York.
Until next time.